Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news. Something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run. A power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends in Seattle Seahawks fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most intriguing stories of the NFL season for Seahawks fans. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade that's been swirling around the league. And it involves none other than Max Crosby, the Pro Bowl edge rusher from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, that's right, the Raiders, a team currently struggling at 2-5 and sitting in the lower half of the league in defense, are reportedly open to trading Crosby. And that could be huge for Seattle's ambitions this season. And believe me, it's not just idle speculation. Rumors from Diana Rossini and other insiders suggest that the Raiders are entertaining offers for Crosby, possibly in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, conditional on certain parameters. Now, why would the Raiders even consider such a move? Well, it's a combination of factors. Really, Vegas is in a bit of a rebuild mode under new head coach Antonio Pierce, who's prioritizing youth and draft capital, especially to bolster their quarterback position and rebuild the offensive line. Their defense, which was supposed to be a strength, has been leaky, ranking 25th in points allowed at 25.2 per game. Their secondary has been exploited, and their run defense has struggled as well. With a limited cap space of around $18 million, they're trying to juggle their roster, extend some offensive linemen, and focus on developing younger players. Crosby, who's just 28 years old, might be seen as a valuable asset but also as a player whose window is closing if the team isn't competitive sooner rather than later. And here's the thing. Crosby is an absolute force when healthy. Since entering the league, he's been a Pro Bowler from 2021 through 2024, amassing an impressive 65 sacks and 132 quarterback hits. His career PFF grade hovers around 91.8, which is elite, and he's shown no signs of slowing down this year. In 2025, he's already recorded 9 sacks with 24 pressures. And his win rate at 25% shows he's consistently winning his battles on the edge. Statistically, he's among the top 2 edge rushers in the league, similar in style and impact to players like Watt, who's been a dominant force for the Steelers. Crosby's technique is top-notch, and he's proven to be a game-changer, capable of disrupting even the most solid offensive lines. Last season, he had over 16 sacks, demonstrating his ability to generate pressure and sacks from the outside. What makes this even more compelling is the context of the Seahawks' current defense. With a 5-2 record and sitting comfortably near the top of the NFC West, Seattle's defense has been playing at a high level, especially when it comes to generating pressure. Players like Maffei and Murphy have been key contributors, with Murphy already racking up 3.5 sacks. The Seahawks' strategy has been to double-team Crosby when he's on the field. But imagine if they had him instead. The impact would be exponential. The Seahawks are actively seeking to add an external pass rusher to their roster before the bye week, aiming to further solidify their elite defense. They want to bring in a Pro Bowl caliber player to push the pass rush to the next level, especially in a division where sacks are crucial for controlling the game and setting up turnovers. And let's talk about the Seahawks' overall defensive performance. Currently, They're ranked 14th in the league in turnovers, averaging about 1.3 per game, which is solid but could be even better with a disruptive force like Crosby on the field. Seattle's defensive line has been impressive, but adding Crosby, who could project to 17+ sacks in a rotation with their current pass rushers, would turn them into a borderline elite unit. His presence could elevate their EPA per sack to around -0.35, similar to what we saw from top-tier edge rushers like Reddick with the Eagles. They're eyeing that kind of impact, especially considering the division's offensive lines have been vulnerable. The Rams, for example, have struggled to contain pass rushers, and with Witherspoon possibly questionable for Week 9 due to a knee injury, the secondary could get some indirect relief if Crosby joins the fold. Now, looking at the big picture, the odds are starting to shift in favor of the Seahawks making this move. The betting odds for Crosby to disrupt the playoffs have gone from around +2,500 to as low as +900, which reflects the increasing belief that he could be the X factor that propels Seattle deep into the postseason. Think about it. Crosby's ability to generate pressure, create sacks, and force turnovers could be the difference maker in crucial games, especially in a playoff environment where a single game can turn on a strip sack or a crucial third down stop. But why would the Raiders actually agree to trade Crosby? Well, it's about cap space, draft capital, and a strategic rebuild. They need to free up some money to extend their offensive line and bolster their secondary, which has been allowing too many passing yards, 236 yards per game. To be exact, Crosby's trade value is high, especially with the 2026 first-round pick being conditional, which adds an element of risk for the Seahawks but also a potential reward if Crosby continues to perform at this level. The Raiders are capping their odds of contending soon, with their odds of winning the division currently at +150,000. So they're looking to accelerate the rebuild by acquiring draft picks and younger talent. And speaking of Crosby's impact, it's worth noting that his style of play resembles some of the best external rushers in recent NFL history. He's not just a sack artist. He's a player who can collapse the pocket from the outside, force quarterbacks into uncomfortable throws, and set up his teammates for sacks and turnovers. If he joins Seattle, he would forge a defense that could be remembered as one of the greatest in Seahawks history, perhaps even immortalized in the franchise's legendary defenses of the past. The Seahawks have been searching for that game-changing pass rusher to pair with Murphy, and Crosby could be that player, especially with the team's current core, which is built around smart, disciplined play and a relentless pass rush. Now, it's important to remember that this isn't just speculation. The NFL trade deadline on November 4th is approaching fast, and teams are feeling the pressure to make moves that could define their season. The Seahawks, with their strong record, are in a position to add a piece that could push them even further. They're already performing well, but adding Crosby would send a message to the rest of the league. Seattle is serious about contending and willing to make bold moves to secure a Super Bowl appearance. And, of course, the division rivals should be on notice. If Crosby comes to Seattle, it's not just about adding a player. It's about shifting the balance of power in the NFC West. The Rams, who have struggled on their offensive line, especially in pass protection, would face an even tougher challenge trying to contain him. The Seahawks' sacks are projected to increase to around 4.2 per game with Crosby, similar to what we saw from elite pass rushers like Reddick with the Eagles last year. That kind of pressure can be the difference between winning and losing playoff games, especially when it leads to turnovers and short fields. So, what does this all mean for Seahawks fans? Well, it means stay tuned because we could be witnessing a turning point in the franchise's history. If the Seahawks manage to land Crosby, it would be a statement of intent, a move that signals they're all in this season. It would also send a message to the rest of the league that the Seahawks are building something special, that they're not just contenders but legitimate Super Bowl hopefuls. The team's coaching staff, led by Pete Carroll, has always emphasized building a tough, disciplined, and relentless defense, and adding a player like Crosby would only amplify that philosophy. And let me remind you, the odds of Crosby becoming a postseason disruptor are looking very promising, with betting markets increasingly favoring him as the X factor in the playoffs. His ability to generate pressure from the outside, combined with the Seahawks' existing pass rush talent, could make them one of the most feared defenses in the league. Remember, it's not just about individual stats. It's about how a player elevates the entire unit, creating opportunities for turnovers, setting the tone early, and dominating the line of scrimmage. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Crosby would be the perfect addition to take the Seahawks to the next level? Or do you think the price is too high? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in the blue and green? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates. So make sure to stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. We're on this journey together. And with every development, we get closer to understanding just how big this season could be for Seattle. Thanks for being here, and let's keep the passion alive.